This is First Coast Math Clinic with Lesson 9, Converting Partial Units of Measure, from Unit 4, Ratios and Proportions, from our Pre-algebra and Algebra curriculum. So the goal of this video is to convert decimal or fraction units of measure to related units. So what does that mean? So let's say we've got the measure 4.5 feet or 3 1/3 hours. Well, we know that we've got like 4 whole feet here or 3 whole hours here. But what about that remaining unit of measure, that 0.5 feet? 0.5 is pretty easy to work with, but what if it's a little more complex, or 1/3 of an hour, right? So there are examples where we have like 0.5 feet or 1/3 hours. And how do we convert that? So what is 0.5 feet as, or in inches? Because 0.5 feet is not a whole hour. So if we convert that to inches, what are we going to get? And what about 1/3 hours, right? 1/3 hours is not a whole hour. So we convert that to minutes. So how many minutes is 1/3 hours? So instead of saying 3 1/3 hours, our measure would be 3 hours and how many minutes, as well as 4 feet and how many inches. Okay, so that's our goal in this video, is to take that like decimal or fractional part of our unit and convert it to whatever the smaller measure is, related measure is. So let's get into a couple examples. We're going to do 4.5 feet and 3 1/3 hours, and we're starting with 0.5 because it's pretty easy to work with. But we'll get into how we're actually going to solve these and go through a couple examples together. Okay, so for number 1, we've got 4.5 feet. So we know we've got 4 whole feet, and we've got that 0.5 feet remaining. Well, we want to convert that to inches. Well, we know that 0.5 feet is pretty easy to work with. We know that 1 foot is 12 inches. I'm just going to go through the math just so everybody sees exactly what we're doing. So we've got 0.5 feet. Let's multiply that by our conversion. Put 1 foot in the denominator, 12 inches in the numerator. So feet and feet, or feet and foot, cancel out. And 0.5 times 12 is going to give us 6, and our label stays inches. So we get 4 feet and 6 inches. Number 2, we've got 3 whole hours. And we want to figure out, well, how many minutes do we have remaining? Well, we know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we've got 1/3 of an hour. So let's multiply that by our ratio, 60 minutes over 1 hour. All right, so our hour and hour cancel out. We multiply this straight across. We're going to get 60 minutes over 3. And again, I'm just doing all the steps out so everybody sees what we're doing. 60 minutes divided by 3 gives me 20 minutes. So 3 hours, 3 1/3 hours is 3 hours and 20 minutes. All right, next example, number 3. We've got 2 1/4 feet to feet and inches. So we've got 2 whole feet, and we want to convert the 1/4 to inches. So we've got 1/4 inches. Well, let's multiply that by our ratio. We know that we've got actually the label here shouldn't be inches, it should be feet. So let me change that because it's 2 1/4 feet. So we'll have 12 inches to 1 foot. All right, because this is 2 1/4 feet. So we have 2 feet and then 1/4 of a foot, right? So that's our quarter of a foot. So we're going to multiply that by our ratio, 12 inches to 1 foot. So now our 1 foot and foot cancel out, and we can multiply straight across. 1 times 12, 4 times 1. So I get 12 inches over 4, right? So our label stays inches, and we're left with 3 inches. So we get 2 feet, 3 inches. Number 4, we've got 5.5 hours to hours and minutes. So we've got 5 hours. How many minutes? So we've got half hour. So let's multiply that by our ratio. We want 1 hour times 60 minutes. So the hour and the hour cancel out, and we'll get 60 minutes over 2. 60 divided by 2 is 30 minutes. So we'll get 5 hours and 30 minutes. All right, some of these values pretty easy to work with. That half an hour, pretty easy to figure out 30 minutes. But what I really want to show you guys, get you guys to see, is actually how we're doing this, how we're multiplying by our ratio. 60 minutes over 1 hour, 12 inches over 1 foot. All right, let's do a couple more examples. All right, so for number 5, we've got 6.7 feet to feet inches. So we've got 6 whole feet. And we want to figure out, well, how many inches do we have now, right? So we've got 0.7, that's how much we have left, 0.7 feet. So we can multiply that by our ratio, 12 inches over 1 foot. So our label foot, feet, and feet cancel out. And 0.7 times 12 is going to give us 8.4 inches. So 6 feet, 8.4 inches. And for number 6, say we've got 8.3 hours to hours and minutes. So we've got 8 hours. How many minutes do we have? So let's take that 0.3 hours. Let's multiply by 1 hour over 60 minutes. So the hours and the hours cancel out. Put that over 1 if we want to multiply straight across. So now we can multiply straight across, straight across. And we're going to get 18 minutes. So 8 hours, 18 minutes when we do our conversion. All right, so these were 6 quick examples on converting partial units of measure. If you like these videos, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Again, I hope these videos are helping you guys. First Coast Math Clinic.